Hello, everyone. This is Troy Harper, and welcome to Harper Cigar Lounge, Episode 5. I am so excited to be here with you guys tonight. I couldn't wait to do this show and to be able to hang out with you guys again. Um, I've got some updates tonight to discuss from the music business and just some things to discuss and talk to you all about just some of my personal experiences within the music business and just when I was younger. Just fun stuff. And of course, I've got a cigar to review tonight and to go over and let you know what I think, which is the Tabernacle Toro 6x52. It's a Connecticut broadleaf wrapper on the cigar. It's got a Mexican binder and it's got a Honduran Nicaraguan filler, and the shape is a Toro, and it's a really nice dark Maduro kind of a cigar. Very bold, chocolatey, from what I understand. So some pepper maybe. I've read that there's some pepper maybe throughout it, but just coffees and chocolates are supposed to be the flavor notes in the cigar. So we'll find out if that's what it does, if that's what it stands up to or not, for flavor wise. Um, but anyway, I gotta tell you guys, make sure you tune in to my new group page called Harper Cigar Lounge on Facebook. It's open to anyone to join. Uh, I've got around 140 members already. It just went up on February 14th, and just a lot of different subject matter on there. A lot of pictures, from the past, and just recent things that are going on in the music business or within the cigar business. But it's really, for cigar smokers that love heavy metal, hard rock music, and that's what this channel is all about as well. Cigar smokers that just love to, listen to heavy metal, hard rock, and for me, there's nothing better that pairs with a good cigar than a good heavy metal band or hard rock band, and a good glass of rum as well. Cheers to you guys. Um, and tonight I'm drinking Captain Morgan Private Stock rum. So anyway, I appreciate you guys joining me tonight and hanging out. I've been looking forward to this so much. So anyway, get comfortable. Uh, get a good vibe going on at your place. Turn down the lights, get your drink, get whatever it is that you want to have with you while we hang out. I'm sure you'll have a great time tonight. So, but anyway, I just want to say hi to all of you that have signed up to the new cigar um, Facebook page under Harper Cigar Lounge. The group page that I started, I just want to say, thank you for joining that and being a support there as well. And some of you have put up pictures, and some of you have put up some posts, and um, it told me a little bit about yourself. And I love seeing that stuff. I encourage you to do more of that. Please get on there and check it out. I think you'll really like it. I want to say hi to some of the people that have gotten on here so far. I'm on my page right now, and I'm just kind of scrolling through. I want to get some of the names of the people that have joined, and I want to tell you guys all hi. But I want to give you some recognition here. Um, I won't be able to name off everybody because there's just too many, but I just want to name off some people. Daniel Gonzalez, hello. Um, Carla Robinson Goranson, hello to you. Michael Johnson. Um, Corey Roberts, hello. Wendy Applegarth, hello to you. I miss you, my old friend. I miss the days of us working together at the children's home back in Torrington, Wyoming. So hello to you, and God bless you and your family. Um, let's see here. Dennis Webb, hello guys. Um, I appreciate you uh, getting on here as well. So Jeff Pollock, hello to you too. miss you back in Torrington when I used to live there. So it's good to see that you've signed up on this page and that you've joined this as well. So hello to you, and sure hope to run into you eventually again sometime. So I just hope you're doing well still, and with your truck driving job and everything. So wonder if you still got the Black Sabbath 13 album or CD that I gave you one time to listen to, and wonder if you're still listening to that at all. So I still listen to my copy as often as I can. So um, and Greg Williams, hello to you. So many more people on here that I haven't mentioned, and you know who you are. So if I haven't mentioned you, um, don't take it personally. I do recognize you, and I see you on the page, and I just want to tell you thank you for all your support and signing up with this whole thing. So it's a new project. This group page on Facebook and the podcast on YouTube here that I'm recording. Um, I'm still pretty new at this, but I'm hoping each show will get better and better, and you guys will find everything enjoyable and want to keep tuning in. And again, thank you for all your support. You all mean the world to me, and I just want to build a cigar community together that where we can get to know each other and just hang out, um, and just communicate and talk and just discuss our interest and like I said, get to know each other. But there's nothing like the cigar community. There's nothing like cigars that bring people together that I have discovered over time, of course. And I'm just excited to be here tonight. So uh, let's party tonight and have a great time. So and throw up the horns there. So, but anyway, got my Judas Priest shirt on tonight. Just want to recognize Judas Priest for making it into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2022. That was so exciting to see that. But I'm still, I don't know, seeing Rob Halford and Dolly Parton singing together. That just still blows my mind. It's neat to see, though. I'm glad that different genres can come together and enjoy each other and sing with each other and accept each other for who they are and what they do in the music business. So, but anyway, let me get this cigar up here for you guys to see. Let's see here. Let me get that band turned around. I don't know if you guys can see that very well, but that is the cigar that I will be smoking tonight and reviewing and let you know what I think of it. So, but if you guys are new to cigar smoking, um, I will throw out as many tips as I can for you to learn, just from what I've learned from watching other people, and I watch podcasts. I listen to podcasts. I watch YouTube. I still am always watching things and listening to things and reading about things. Um, I've joined to some different cigar magazines, Cigar Snob, and a cigar. I can never pronounce it right. Aficionado is what is what I'm trying to say. Those magazines are great magazines, and here's the latest copy that I've got. Just a lot of great stuff in it. There's a lot of cigar reviews. There's a lot of just different articles, and they mention all the big guys in the business, and what's going on with them, and just a lot of neat information. I'm trying to get to. There's a page right here where they kind of go over some cigar reviews, and there's just a lot of that in this magazine. Um, so I've been subscribing to that, and before I forget, got to throw up my Judas Priest ticket. Got to go see him last November. Queensryche opened up for him, and this was on their 50th anniversary tour that I got to see him on. It was such a great show. Rob Halford, he is just incredible still. His voice is just unreal, and he's just belting it out like he never I mean, his voice has never stopped. I think it's probably stronger than ever, to be honest with you. And just a great performer still and showman, and just a great lead vocalist. And the rest of the band's just spot on still, and they're just kicking ass, I tell you. So if you get a chance to see Judas Priest, go see him. I got to see him, like I said, Queensryche, and they were awesome too. Queensryche is just unbelievable. You got to catch both of those guys, both of those bands. So anyway, but I want to get into this, and then along the way we'll discuss just different music topics, and I'll just discuss some things with with things that have happened with me in the past. I'll show you a little bit of memorabilia I've got, and just discuss some of my memories, my really great memories within being around the bands I love and everything. So and whatever else comes to mind, I'll discuss that too. So I'll also give you some updates with what's going on in the music business as well. So anyway, so I'm just really excited to dive into this, and I hope you guys will learn something tonight and find everything interesting, and you'll want to keep tuning into these shows. And again, just relax, forget about all the troubles out there in the world, and just escape tonight with me, and just pull up and relax and find what you enjoy to drink, and to what you enjoy with cigars. So if you have one of these, great. Let's let's smoke one together. So if not, if you got something else, and have that with me. So, but anyway, let me tell you first of all, for all you new cigar smokers out there, when you first get a hold of a cigar, you want to be very careful with cigars. They're very fragile. You don't want to toss them around on your counter or desk or whatever. You want to handle them carefully. Um, the premium cigars that I smoke are all pure, tobacco. The the wrapper, the outside, the binder underneath, the filler on the inside, it's all pure tobacco. There's no chemicals or no artificial stuff in these. So to smoke one of these is such a privilege, and knowing where they come from, which, like I said, this one's Honduran, Nicaraguan for the filler. So this comes from both of Honduras and Nicaragua. So getting a chance to kind of um, get a little bit of taste of those those areas, and just to think that people took time to hand roll this and make it, and then the aging process, and there's just such a huge process. If you ever want to learn about everything, just Google things on YouTube. There's shows you can watch how the process they go through, the growers and everything when it comes to these cigars. But when you first get a hold of one of these cigars, in case you're not sure the different parts of the cigar, but you've got the cap right here. This is a part that will clip off a little bit and moisten up a little bit before I clip it so it doesn't crack. And then, of course, you got the foot of the cigar. This is where you're going to light it. And before you smoke it, smell it a little bit, smell that wrapper. There's all kinds of great aromas that come from it. There's great aromas that come from the tobacco. Um, and then, when you give it a little bit of a taste, moisten it a little bit, get a little bit of a taste of that wrapper. Um, through the taste of the wrapper and smells and aromas, you get so many great things out of a premium cigar. Um, and I used to smoke Swisher Sweets, which are just factory made cigars, and they were okay while I was younger and didn't have a lot of money. But if you're really wanting to have a great experience, definitely look into premium cigars. And tonight I'll discuss, what you can do to take care of them, and what you can do if you're starting out and wanting to have a little bit of a collection for yourself, what you can do to keep it from, going bad on you. And if I do apologize if I have a little bit of the sniffles throughout this this video. I'm still kind of getting over from being sick last Thursday, and I apologize I couldn't get this show to you sooner because of that. I'm hoping to make up for that tonight. Um, so anyway, um, anyway, so I've moistened the cap, and I've done that so it won't crack when I cut this. And I've got all kinds of different cutters. I'm going to be using a guillotine cutter tonight. Um, this one came from Perdomo Cigars, if you can see that, and it's got a backing on it, so when you cut, you're not cutting too deep into your cigar. There's some cigars that have like a little bit of a pigtail or something on it, and if you've got a cigar like that, you'll have to use an opened up, that's opened up all the way, the guillotine cutter that opens up all the way. Um, some people like a punch cigar cutter, and this one kind of cuts a V shaped into your cigar. Um, and I'm not big into the V cut. It just seems like the draw is not as good for me. Some people like it, and then of course there's the a punch. It looks kind of like that. You pull this apart, and you've got this here, and that just goes into the end of the cigar. You twist it and kind of gently push into it, twist it, pull it out, and you get a little piece of tobacco out. Some people like that. It's just you got to find what works for you and what you like. But for the V cut and the punch, it was hard to get in to the end of the wrapper without damaging it for me that I experienced, and it just seemed like the draw was just too tight. And that's something else I'll get into as well. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and cut this this cigar here. So anyway, so here's the cap. I'm going to cut that. And what that does is when you cut it, it catches that cap so it doesn't fall on you, and then you can just pick it out and throw it into your cigar ashtray. But anyway, so now I'm going to go ahead and do a cold draw. And all I'm doing with the cold draw is I'm pulling in, or I'm breathing in, and that will tell me if I'm going to have too tight of a draw, or a loose, or too loose of a draw, or a draw that's just right. And when I'm kind of sucking in on this right now, I feel like the draw is just perfect on it. If you're ever cutting a cigar, and you've cut this off a little bit, and it still feels too tight of a draw, then you can clip a little more off. You just don't want to go too deep, because what will happen is you'll cut the cap completely off, and then your cigar will start unraveling on you. So this is what's good about this cigar cutter, because it doesn't let you go too deep. And usually these will work just right, because it's about, I'm going to say it's probably about a quarter's worth deep, width, deep. So, but for a larger cigar like this, it didn't cut it too deep. But for if you were to smoke a little smaller cigar, like a 5x42 or around that kind of a size cigar, you're definitely going to want to make sure you use something like this, and just cut maybe a dime's width off, so you don't cut too deep and cut that cap completely off and have your cigar fall apart on you. So, but yeah, at the cold draw, I'm getting some taste notes. Usually do, if you do a cold draw, you'll get some taste notes. And I'm definitely getting some dark espresso, kind of a coffee taste. Kind of a dark chocolate, little bit of a black pepper or red pepper kind of a taste to it, maybe white pepper. So I'm kind of getting those. But this cigar, I would not recommend for a beginner. I recommend more of a lighter cigar, like a maybe kind of a sun-grown type of cigar with a lighter wrapper. Perdomo's got a good cigar that's out right now. It's been out, but they recommend it for beginners. It's called the Champagne cigar, and it's got a real light uh, wrapper on it, and it's just a real light cigar, and it's got some real nice vanilla taste to it. just very mild. So if you're going to start out, if you're new and you're starting out with cigars, I suggest that you look up the Perdomo 10th anniversary champagne cigar. They've got Churchills, they've got Toros 6x60. The Churchills, I'm not sure what the dimensions are on that, the ring gauge and everything, but yeah, look those up. That's a good beginning cigar. But anyway, so and then also I recommend this also for you to have after you have like a meal because it is a very full-bodied cigar, and it from what I'm seeing and from what I'm reading about on this cigar, it's very full-bodied, and we'll see if it is or not. I'll see if it is to me, but it's a heavier cigar, so they recommend this after a meal. So we'll see what this does. So I'm going to go ahead and start toasting this. And what I mean by toasting this is I want to just I don't want to burn the end of this. I don't want to char it. I just want to heat it up and get all the tobacco on the end just kind of started started by getting it lit up, and then I will once I do that, then I'll go back and I'll put it in my mouth and I'll turn it while I burn it. That way it gets an even burn all the way around. And while I'm toasting it, I will spin my cigar around, turn it, and get everything lit evenly as well. And then when I blow on it, I should be able to see the whole thing glow orange. And if it does that, and I'm not seeing anything not glowing, then I'll know it's ready to go. If I do see some areas where it's not glowing orange yet, then I'll have to toast it a little bit more. So anyway, so um, I've got different torch lighters or different lighters here. Um, this is a good lighter. It's a single torch lighter. This is good for inside, but I recommend it for more smaller cigars. I don't recommend it for this size, which is a 6x52, like I said. And then I've got, let's see here. I've got, I have it here somewhere, but I've got one it's got a two torch or two flame lighter. This one here has got a three flame, which I'm going to go ahead and use. And this one is from Perdomo cigars that I picked up when I picked up my Perdomo cutter. So, but anyway, if you go to Perdomo cigars, they got half off on just pretty much on everything. I even picked up a really nice ashtray um, from them as well for half the price. And I got a coffee mug that's got a cigar rest on it. Also, so there's a lot of neat things on that site if you're looking for some merchandise or some stuff to put in your cigar lounge. The ashtray and lighter cutter. They've even got metal signs with their Perdomo bands. It looks like one of the bands off their cigars. They got those that you can hang up in your cigar lounge. All kinds of neat stuff. They got jackets and they got hats, all kinds of stuff. So check out Perdomo cigars if you're looking for some merchandise to add to your collection or to add to your cigar lounge. Anyway, but let me go ahead and start toasting this. Okay, so I'm gonna just start like I don't want this to go right into the flame. I want it to be far enough to where it's just going to heat it. And so as you see, I'm kind of turning it, twisting it a little bit here, just trying to get all the tobacco just kind of toasted and lit up a little here. It's getting there. It looks like almost there. Still a little bit of area there that's not lighting up for me quite yet, so I'll toast it just a little more. Okay, good. I've got it now, I believe. you see the end of that, how it's glowing all the way through? That's what you want after you light your cigar. That's what you want to see. Well, right off the bat, I'm getting a lot of pepper. Um, Very bold espresso, maybe espresso coffee, and a lot of pepper. And the aroma is really good. I'm getting a lot of kind of I don't know, kind of a espresso cedar kind of aroma to it. Um, that's about the only way I can explain it, I guess, right now. We'll see if that changes. But what you want to do with your cigars is that when you one thing with cigars, you don't want to inhale it. Cigars are mainly for the aromas and the taste, for any of you beginners out there. But when you breathe in, you just want to hold the smoke in your mouth. You don't want to let it go, down into your lungs. You just want to hold it in your mouth, get a taste of the smoke, and then release it and enjoy the aromas. But this one's got a lot of great smoke. My gosh, a lot of great smoke to it, and it's tasting wonderful. Um, Getting a lot of dark, like black coffee, some dark chocolate. Definitely still some pepper. I'm gonna say it's more of a red pepper, definitely. And it is bold. It's a bold cigar, definitely. But I'm really liking this cigar so far. So I recommend this to you guys so far. So far, it's burning really evenly, right? Yeah, I mean it's still burning. I mean, I haven't had it lit for very long, but it's burning evenly and it's staying lit. It's not going out on me. So, but uh, again, this is called the Tabernacle Toro, and it's from Foundation Cigars, and it's a 6x52 cigar, and the wrapper's Connecticut broadleaf. The binder is Mexican, and the filler is Honduran Nicaraguan. So anyway, but really good cigar so far. Really good cigar. Good, really good cigar. Really good. Yeah, I'm loving this. Well, I'm glad you guys are hanging out with me tonight. Like I said, I was so excited about getting to do this tonight. I really felt bad about not being able to get this up sooner for you guys, but we'll make up for it tonight, hopefully here. So, but I gotta thank my wife, Marcy, and my son Jacen. My wife Marcy, she really got me kind of going with the cigar hobby lifestyle, I guess you could say. Um, as some of you guys might know, I know I've discussed it a little bit in my past videos, but just came home one night, had a really rough week at work, and I told my wife, I was like, I've got to go find a cigar and have a glass of wine or something, and just to calm me down, because I just came home just stressed out. It was just a really hard week, one of the hardest weeks I'd experienced at my work. And again, I manage a grocery store here in Kimball, Nebraska, called Main Street Market. So came home and I went down the street to a place called Vince's Corner, found some Swisher Sweets. That was really the only cigars I could find in town. So I got those and got some wine and started, kind of sipping on the wine out on my porch and had my cigar and it was kind of a cold night that night. So, but I sat on my porch and smoked and drank a little wine, and it just calmed me down and made me feel pretty good. And before I knew it, I was forgetting about all my problems at work. So, uh, make it short, keep the story short. But Father's Day came around. I woke up and my wife and my son had went out and found me a good couple premium cigars that were just really good. And one was called the It was called the War Zone, and there was the other one. It was a Camacho Connecticut cigar. So anyway, so I ended up smoking those with my son hanging out with me, and he told me he didn't want me to smoke them until he was hanging out with me, and so I waited a couple of days before I got to smoke them. But they bought me a lighter for my cigars, and bought me a cutter, and then they ended up buying me a couple ashtrays, and really nice wooden ashtrays. They had a drink holder on it, and a cutter, a spot on there to hold your cutter, and then a desktop humidor came in the mail too. So they got me the whole works, and um, the only thing I needed to find was something to keep them humidified. So I started, learning about the Boveda packs. So before I bought any more cigars, I got Boveda packs and learned about those and seasoned my humidor. And if you get a desktop humidor or anything like that, you got to season it. Uh, you got to get distilled water for one, and a sponge or a cloth, and you wipe all the wood in it. And you don't want to soak it, but you just want to wipe it with a light, with a damp rag, not overly damp, but just a little bit damp. Wipe all the wood. You got to make sure your humidor has a Spanish cedar in it, and so make sure your humidor has that, and wipe it down good. Wipe all the wood on the inside really good. Wipe everything, and then you got to close that up for a few days. And I stuck a little digital thermometer in mine that I ordered online through eBay, and it tells me the humidity level and the temps. So I stuck one of those in there, and I kept my damp sponge in there as well to get the humidity going in there, and left in there for a few days, and the temp was like, or the humidity level was like 85 after it was all said and done. Now that's pretty high temp, or humidity. You don't want to have your cigars in that high of a humidity. But once I opened it up and I let some of that humidity out, and I started putting in some of my cigars, and then I had to kind of play around with my temps and to see how many Boveda packs I needed in there. And I've been using 72%, which is what I recommend. And so I, started playing around with that, got it to where my temps were good. So I kind of got to where it was around 69% for the temps, and around 69 to 70% humidity. And so, of course, the Boveda packs last a long time. And so, anyway, so I started learning how that all worked pretty well and keep it regulated. I check my humidor. Well, I got four now, but I check them morning and night, check them through the day on my lunch hour from work. And I do that every day, make sure my temps are good. I keep a digital hydrometer in each one, so I always know what my temps and my humidity levels are. And with humidity levels, you want to make sure you keep them between 62 and 72. Anything under 62, you can cause your cigars to dry out and crack. If you got them above 72, they can get too moist, and you can cause them to have cigar beetles, which will ruin all your cigars. So you want to make sure you don't do that. And like they say, fire and water don't mix. Well, the the higher humidity levels your cigars have, um, the more moist they get. And when you go to light them and everything, or if you go to cut them and light them, if they're too moist, they can unravel and fall apart. And if they're too dry, they can crack and cause you issues that way as well. So you just want to make sure your levels stay between 62 and 72. And if you allow your temps to go up and down a lot, and don't keep it at a stable humidity level and temp, it can cause the flavor of your cigars to change as well. So anyway, excuse me, sorry, I got to wipe my nose here. But anyway, so make sure you keep your cigars at a constant. Sorry, um, still fighting this dang cold. But anyway, so you want to make sure you keep your your humidity levels and your temps kind of at the same range every day. So if you start to see them go down or up, you might have to take some of your Boveda packs out. If they go down too much, you might have to add some Boveda packs. And they got all kinds of different sizes, but you'll just have to kind of check in to see what works for you. So you just got to find what works for you when it comes to cigars. They're your cigars. You're the one that's paying for them and investing in them. So you got to do what works for you. Some people like, cigars that are real low humidity level, like around 62, 63. Some people like them around 70 up to 72 humidity levels. It's just whatever works for you. I like to keep my cigars around 67, 68 humidity levels, around 69% to 70% temps. And, that's usually what works for me. A dark cigar like this, a dark Maduro type cigar like this, higher humidity levels are better for me, it seems like, around the 69, 70% humidity level range. For a lighter cigar with a real light wrapper, like a sun-grown type of cigar that's real light, um, those are good to keep at lower humidity levels. So maybe in some of if you've got a couple different humidors, you might want to keep in one humidor, maybe some of your lighter kind of cigars in one with certain humidity levels to it. Maybe keep all your Maduros, darker type of cigars in a different humidor with, with higher humidity levels. It's just whatever works for you. But do your research. Check out YouTube, check out videos. Just Google, cigars, lighting or cutting, whatever it is. Just Google those things on YouTube. Uh, if you can get on your phone or whatever, go to where your podcasts are. You'll have to download the app for podcasts, but download the app in your app store for podcast, and then start looking up cigars, and you'll find all kinds of cigar podcasts where you can listen to experts discuss all kinds of tips and everything. So one thing about cigars too, and I just let it happen. If you don't puff on a cigar about every 30 seconds, it can go out on you, which is what just happened. But that's okay. I'll give it a relight here and get it where it needs to be again, and we'll keep going forward here. So there we go. I'll try to keep puffing on this and while I'm talking, so I don't let it burn out on me again. But so far, it's burning evenly. I'm loving that. Having to relight it wasn't the cigar's fault. That was more my fault. You don't want to puff just constant. You want to let it breathe a little bit between your draws, but um, to get a better taste out of your tobacco. If you're constantly inhaling on it, you're not giving a chance for that tobacco to burn on its own, and that will cause you to not get the flavors you should get out of your cigar. So I know it all sounds very technical, and it kind of is. There's just so many things about cigars that's good to learn, so do your research because there's just so many things to learn. And I've learned so much, over this, past years. I've been really getting into cigars for almost a year now. Like I said, throughout my life, I've smoked them off and on, but it was usually Swisher Sweets or something like that. But for premium cigars, I've really been into that for about a year now, and I've learned a lot over this past year. I've done a lot of studying. So, um, and I discussed a little bit ago that this town had no place to go find cigars. So, um, the store that I work for, it's under a chain called Panhandle Co-op, and over in Scottsbluff, Nebraska, which is 40 minutes from here, they've got cigars in their liquor store, and so in my store now, I've got premium cigars in my liquor area as well. But it was nice to go to Scottsbluff to get cigars, but now that I got them at my store, I don't have to always go out of town to do that. So, but since I started getting into this, I really wanted to find a way to do a service to this town And to do a service to myself as well, I'll be honest, I was thinking more of myself in the beginning. I wanted to be able to have cigars here in town, and no one else had them. So I thought, well, why not have them at my store to where I can get access whenever I want? But I started spreading the word around about that. I had all kinds of guys bugging me about, having cigars in my store. And before I even got them, I had people bugging me all the time. When are you going to get them in? When are you going to get them in? So I finally got them in, and they've been doing very well. I sell cigars every day, and I've got them in humidors, and I keep track of the temps and the humidity levels with those as well. So it's been a fun hobby, that's for sure. But it does require some work to keep your cigars in really good shape. So you just got to do your research, and if you're not dedicated to taking the time to make sure they're always kept well to where they don't get ruined, then it's not worth doing. You got to commit to it, and you got to make sure that you're staying on top of everything, every day. So they always stay fresh and stay good for you. So, but yeah, I'm still getting some chocolate notes, and the peppers kind of calmed down a little bit now. I'm getting more of the chocolates, dark chocolate taste. So it's kind of mellowed out a little bit, but I'm not quite all the way through my first third. Um, and we break it up in three sections. You got the first third, you got the middle of your cigar, and then you got the last third. And the way these leaves are rolled, they come from different. A lot of them come from different areas, and when they're rolled together, you get all the different taste notes throughout your cigar. So um, I do have some cigars that really don't change taste notes very much, is because all the tobacco used for particular cigars all come from maybe one area. And then there's the cigars that come, all the different parts of the cigar come from different areas. So those are the ones you get a lot of different taste notes. So this one, I'm getting different taste notes definitely. But like I said, the peppers calmed down a little bit on this one so far. It's still burning evenly, and it's staying lit since I'm puffing on it a little bit more. So, but really great cigar. Um, Something else you guys want to maybe keep in mind too. I made this mistake in the beginning a lot. I would always take my band off immediately, and sometimes my cigar would start unraveling on me, and as the cigar started burning more and more, my cigar would kind of unravel and crack and stuff. And I found out that um, when you pull these bands off too soon, um, there's like a pectin that they seal it on the cigar with. And if you pull it off, it'll pull some of the wrapper off with it as well, and that's when it'll start cracking and falling apart on you. So you want to wait until you get down close to the band, so you can let your cigar warm up. And as your cigar warms up, it'll loosen up that pectin. And then when you go to take your band off, which you still want to be careful when you do it, but it'll come off a lot easier for you, and you won't destroy your cigar. So anyway, excuse me. Um, Again, cheers to you guys. I gotta get a drink of my rum here. But give me feedback on my podcasts. Let me know what you think of them. Give me any feedback you've got. I want to know what you guys think. I want to know what you guys want to hear more of, or maybe not hear as much of. Um, Whatever it is, I want to know, and I want to know, about you guys. Tell me what you like to smoke, what your hobbies are, and please excuse me for wiping my nose. I wish this head cold that I got would go away. But I am feeling a lot better. Feeling a lot better compared to the way I did last Thursday. Um, so thank you guys for being patient with me to get this video up. I really do appreciate it. Um, but oh gosh, what was I saying? I lost I lost my train of thought here. But anyway, but yeah, sorry that I didn't get this up sooner. And I hope you guys are enjoying yourselves tonight, hanging out with me. And I want you guys, when you tune into this, I want you guys to just be able to relax and forget about all the troubles in the world, that's going on, and just put all your worries aside and just hang out and enjoy yourself. So, but kind of, if you guys are starting out and you're trying to find something to keep your cigars in, a good starter thing you can get is just a travel humidor. This one's got space for enough for 20 cigars in it, and I'll kind of show you what it looks like on the inside. So that's what it kind of looks like on the inside, and as you can see, I've got my hydrometer right there, and it's showing I've got around 72, which is kind of where I'm keeping these cigars at. They're just these are just darker cigars, and they're more full-bodied cigars, so they require a little more humidity. But I've got my Boveda pack in there, as you can see, kind of in there, and that's keeping the humidity levels going to where it needs to be in there, so they don't dry out on me or get too moist or whatever the case is. I've also got a smaller one here. This one holds 10. These come with a foam piece. Uh, I got this foam this foam comes on it already, but it comes with an extra piece that goes inside of it as well usually. But I just take that out, and that allows me to hold even more cigars in it. And again, this one's got a hydrometer as well in it, and so I've got 4 desktop humidors, plus I've got these 2 travel humidors filled up with cigars. And then I've got some other ones in some really heavy Ziploc bags as well that I've got put away as well. So um, I'm going to have to invest in I'm going to have to invest in something bigger for my cigars, I think, here pretty soon. I've got 6 different humidors, and I got some in 2 different bags. So we'll see. That's something I'm thinking about, though. Yeah, I am loving this cigar. Really loving it. So again, look up these tabernacles. They are good. So far, I'm really impressed with it. Really happy with it. And if you guys find these, definitely pick them up. They're about $10.99 a piece, roughly. And if you wanted to buy a box or so, they're around $214-$250 for a box of, I think, box of 20 or something or box of 24. Box of 24. So. But if you find them, they're definitely worth it, I think. So far, I'm really enjoying this. Let me kind of get you guys up to speed with some stuff that's going on within the music business. Um, Let me go to first news I got for you guys. Tesla, they're going to release a new live album this summer, and then they got a tour that's going to follow. Their new live album is going to be called "Time to Rock," um, and that will include the single "Time to Rock" as well. But they're going to start out. Let's see here. This live album was recorded at the Full Throttle Saloon in Sturgis, South Dakota. This last summer is where this recording is coming from, and they're going to start. They're going to start touring pretty soon. So they're looking at March 15th starting their tour at Redding, California, at the Redding Civic Center, and then that tour will continue on uh, through August 4th, and they'll do their last show in Northfield, Ohio, at the MGM Northfield Park. And who knows? I mean, they could extend that tour out some more, but if you haven't seen Tesla, catch Tesla. They still put on a great show. So catch Tesla if you get a chance. But I'll be looking forward to their new live album. I definitely got to check that out. Their past live albums have been really, really good too. So I'm anxious to check this one out. And then let's see here. Ghost and Amon Amarth. They're going to do a U.S. tour as well. And they're going to be starting off their tour in Concord, California at the Concord Pavilion on August 2nd of 2023. And they'll continue that tour on, let's see here, through September 11th. God, guys, I'm sorry that I got to keep wiping my nose here. But September 11th in Los Angeles, California is when they'll end that tour, unless they decide to extend it out. And then Disturbed, they're starting. They're going to be starting a North American tour pretty soon, and they're going to have Theory of a Dead Man, Breaking Benjamin, and Ginger with them. And their tour will start in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, at the Quebec Bell Center, I guess is what the name of that place where they're playing. That's on April 27th. And then they got some U.S. dates. For our area, they'll be in Denver July 11th of this year, which is about hour 45 minutes from here, from where we live here in Kimball. And then let's see here. Let's see what else we got going on. This is pretty cool. Richie Sambora, lead guitarist for Bon Jovi, that had parted with Bon Jovi a little while back. Might have to relight the cigar again. I'm talking too much and not puffing enough, I guess. They're gonna look at doing a reunion tour as well. So Richie Sambora is looking at going back to Bon Jovi to do a reunion tour, which I think is really cool. And he wants to do some of the vocals and singing as well to give John Bon Jovi a little bit of a break at times, because his voice has not been as good as it used to. So he's kind of struggling a little bit with his voice. So if you've seen any of the recent YouTube stuff, from some of his live shows, you can tell that his voice is kind of struggling a little bit. So Richie Sambora kind of wants to team up with him and help him out a little bit. So yeah, of course, for the fans as well, the fans, especially me too, we all miss Richie Sambora being with Bon Jovi. So that'll be great to see. So anyway, so be kind of looking out for that. Hopefully they'll be planning a tour pretty soon here. So I think that's going to be pretty special to have Richie back with Bon Jovi. I know when I heard the news that he left, I was like, man, he's going to be missed. So, and I'm sure I can speak for all Bon Jovi fans out there. So, other than having to relight the cigar a couple times, it is burning evenly, and the taste notes are great. Um, Getting some pepper again a little bit. And the aroma, the smoke, from the cigar. I mean, even though my nose is a little stuffed up tonight, I can still smell, some of the aromas coming off of the cigar, which I'm getting, some espresso kind of smells, some cedar, as well. So, but yeah, very tasty cigar, guys, so far. So I'm really happy with this cigar. So, um, then let's see here. Um, Wanted to discuss something controversial. For all of you know that I'm a pretty big Striper fan, um, which I'm going to get to see them in May. Thank gosh, it's been since 2014 since I've seen Striper, and since I've gotten to hang out with those guys. It'll be great to meet Perry Richardson finally. That was with Firehouse for so many years, one of the founding members of Firehouse. So I'm looking forward to getting to meet him finally. But I kind of go back with Striper a ways. I worked with them back in '90 during their Against the Law tour, and have kept in touch with them over the years when possible. And I stay in touch with Robert and Michael Sweet's mother, Janice. And she did have a stroke here not too long ago, but she's out of the hospital. She's doing good. Her husband Phil was sick, but he's doing better as well. So I'm glad you guys are doing better. I've been keeping you guys in my prayers and thoughts every day, and so glad you're doing better. So, but Striper being Christian metal, they get a lot of flack for touring with bands that aren't Christian, that are for totally opposite beliefs. But they tour out there with bands and they hang out with all the bands, and they get a lot of flack for that from people that are Christian. And I've got my beliefs, but you know when you're a Christian and you believe in God and you live your life for God, you want to be a good witness to people around you, and that's what Striper tries to do. They just try to be a good witness to everybody around them. They don't separate themselves from everybody. They don't look at themselves being better or anything like that. They want to have relationships with everybody out there, and to share their beliefs, but to get along with everybody. They don't shove it down people's throats or anything like that. They just they're out there doing their thing, and other bands are doing their thing, and they just are out there hanging out and enjoying themselves with these bands, and just doing what they do best, which is playing their style of music. So, but the latest, uh, stuff that Michael Sweet from Striper has gotten, some negative feedback or whatever from the fans, was the fact that he stopped and hung out with King Diamond a little bit. Of course, King Diamond was originally in a band called Merciful Fate, which excuse me, Merciful Fate, of course, dark lyrics, and they kind of go towards more of the dark side of things in life with their beliefs. But Michael Sweet was playing at a festival in Mexico. It was called the Hell in Heaven Metal Fest, and so Striper was there, King Diamond and Merciful Fate were there, and but Michael Sweet just happened to have a moment. And he saw King Diamond and decided to stop and talk with him a little bit. And King Diamond was really happy that Michael Sweet started to talk with him. And King Diamond, had a great conversation with Michael, and they both got along great and had a good time together. And Michael says just two dudes hanging out and just discussing everyday things. And I just think that's great, that Michael doesn't judge people for what they believe in. I mean, he's been doing work with George Lynch, that's been the, Dokken guitarist for so many years over, in the 80s, early 90s. And then he, had some other bands that he's been involved with as well. Um, and Lynch Mob is one of those bands, but Michael Sweet and George Lynch have been doing some albums together. They're getting ready to work on a third album, and that project's been called Sweet and Lynch. Really good music. You need to check that out if you get a chance. But definitely check out Sweet and Lynch. And then Michael Sweet's also done some work with Tracy Guns from LA Guns. And I'm happy to see that Tracy Guns is back with LA Guns as well. They're working on a new album and working on a new tour, so I got to catch that. I hope I can catch that. I've seen LA Guns once, and that was at the Rock and the Railroad Festival back in Sheridan, Wyoming, back in 2014. Which got to go see Striper and hang out with those guys. I got to hang out with Lena Ford, and she was such a sweet lady. Um, I got I've got something right here to show you that I got from her. But so I got this autographed photo from her, and that was from 2014, from August 2nd, 2014, from the Rock and the Railroad Festival in Sheridan, Wyoming. But got to hang out with her a little bit, and she put on there "Kiss Me Deadly, Troy," and which I thought was pretty cool, So, but just a great lady. Got to hang out with her a little bit, got to talk with her and get to know her a little bit, and got to hang out with the boys of Striper, my buddies in Striper that night. But that whole festival that day, it was a 2 day festival. I missed the first day, and they had all kinds of great bands that day. They had Ted Nugent as the headliner. They had Trickster, and they had Sweet, which was a very old band. They had them there. They had all kinds of other bands. But the day we went, which was my brother and myself, my brother Grant, that lives right in Sheridan, Wyoming. We went the second day because we had permission to go hang out with Striper and go backstage with them. So my brother's really excited to finally get to meet those guys. But so we're backstage and we got to meet, the LA Guns, and we got to Vixen was there that day playing, so we got to see them. Kind of walking around, didn't really get to talk to them really. Winger was playing that day. Got to say hi to Kip Winger briefly. He had girls all around him the whole time, so I didn't really get a chance to talk to him at all. And let's see, Cheap Trick was the headliner, so got to see those guys kind of walking around. But we were mainly there to hang out with the guys in Striper, I should say. I'm sorry, they're not boys, but they're my boys, I should say. But we got to hang out with the guys in Striper, and at the time we got to hang out, the Timothy Gaines was still with them, which he's not with them anymore. Like I said, Perry Richardson's with them now. He's been with them for a few years now. So and he was with Firehouse for a lot of years back in the '80s, early '90s. Um, so we got to go back and hang out with those guys. And while we were there hanging out with, the guys at Striper, we got to, you know, meet Lita Ford as well. She was right in that same area where those guys were hanging out. So that was really great. And I after that show was over, I was kind of communicating with her on Facebook on her messenger, and there was a guy that she was telling me there was a guy that she I don't know was dating or something. I don't know what his name was, and if I did know his name, I wouldn't say it anyway. But he was really giving her a hard time, and so I kind of got on there and told her to tell him to back off, or else I was going to come find him and take care of him myself. So, so Lena Ford says she was okay, and she, was okay with the situation, and she, handled it. She was able to handle it okay. So, but I told her I wanted her to sign the dashboard of my Mustang, and but of course the people that ran the grounds where the fair or where this festival was, they wouldn't let me bring my car on grounds for her to sign it, so I didn't get to do that. But so I'm glad I got her autograph though, at least. Um, but what are some of your guys' experiences, with concerts, and is there any times you guys got to go backstage or hang out with certain bands, or what was it like, for a band that you never got to see before? What were you kind of going through on the inside, emotionally, just the excitement of getting to see someone finally and get to see their show. I mean, I'll never forget the first show I got to see, um, which my first concert was White Snake and Great White, and that was in Casper, Wyoming. This is for an arena show, I should say. Got to see White Snake and Great White the first time in an arena. My very first concert, of course, was Striper at the Paramount Theater in Denver, Colorado, and that was a great venue. And I just remember how I felt getting to see my heroes for the first time and getting to be in their presence, and just the anticipation, just being so anxious to finally get to see them. And so, that night, which I saw Striper, was in January of 1987, and it was in Denver. And I joined a youth group. In school I overheard some kids talking how their youth group was going to go see Striper, and I'd already been a huge fan of Striper. And a friend of mine got me into them. A friend of mine that thought they were too heavy didn't like them, so he passed on their cassettes to me, and I just fell in love with them immediately. So I've been a fan of theirs for a few years already, and but I joined this youth group just so I could go see Striper. And then after I got to see Striper, I quit the youth group. I Personal reasons why I didn't stay with it. There were some things going on in this church I just didn't really care for. I didn't like. I didn't appreciate some of the things that were going on in this church. But so yeah, so shame on me. But I joined this youth group just so I could get to the Striper concert. Then after the Striper concert was over, I didn't go back to the youth group anymore. So Um, so anyway, I'll probably be strike down, for that, but it was worth it, and I got to see my favorite band, first concert ever, and so it was awesome. But that night, I was able to find my way up to the very front, and as those guys were ending the show that night, they reached down and shook everyone's hands, and I got to shake all their hands, and I told myself that night that I was going to work with those guys. So, sure enough, in '90, moved to Miami. Well, '89, I moved to Miami Beach, Florida, and started getting involved with the music business. Was going to a school for music, for all the behind the scenes stuff, video and concert production stuff, songwriting, which I started dabbling in songwriting and was able to actually uh, use some lyrics later and some music that I was doing, and a band that I kind of put together for a short time. Um, but that's a story for another time. Um, but I told myself I was going to work with these guys, and it's funny. My senior year in high school, um, I can't remember the club that the kids were in, but there was this club that all the kids were in, and they had put on this. It was like the last day of being in school. My senior year in high school was the last day of school. And they put on this function in the auditorium, and they were kind of predicting what all the students were going to do after high school. I better get a puff on this really quick. So give me just a second. There we go. I gotta remember to try and puff on this a little more so I don't let it burn out. But anyway, so excuse me. Anyway, so they predicted that I was either going to be in Striper or I was going to work with Striper. Well, sure enough, not even a year later, I was moving to Florida, getting involved in the music business, and I had was working in a club called Decos, and I was started out as a busser. I was sweeping floors and picking up empty glasses all over the club. It was a huge club. It was like a four-level club. The very top floor of this club was a private club, and they had strippers up there and all kinds of stuff. And but I started out bussing, and then the gal that hired me at the club, which was through a guy that I went to school with, he owned his own bodyguard service, and he was going to school learning the music business. And well, he was close to the owner of this club, and I'm trying to remember her name, but he talked to her about me and got an interview set up for me with her. And so I went in and told her what I was kind of wanting to do. I told her I was really wanting to learn the music business, but I wanted to meet people. And this club had all kinds of different acts that came through every night. Some were punk bands, some were underground bands like Nine Inch Nails, um, a lot of dance artists. Uh, there was even reggae bands, and there was just all these different bands they had every night. And I told her I wanted to meet all these bands, all these musicians or performers, and get some contacts, just to get my name out there. And I even had business cards made up with different things on it that I was doing at the time. But anyway, so I passed these business cards out to all these musicians and performers and whatnot. But anyway, so I got to go up in the dressing rooms every night and hang out with all these bands and all these performers and everything. So I finally, they would have me take their drinks up to them is what they would have me do. And so my boss told me, well, I'm gonna have you take these drinks up, and then you can stay up there for a few minutes and hang out if you want. Then kind of get back to work and get back to cleaning up, anything on the, sweeping the floors, picking up all the empty glasses, all that kind of stuff. So I did that. Well, then they ended up moving me to bartender, so I bartended for a little bit, and then while all this was going on, I gotta get drunk. Hold on, I'm sorry. Cheers again to you guys. Thanks again for tuning in tonight. But anyway, so I'd go up, hang out, get their drinks to them, and I would meet all these different people. And then I was bugging the stage crew every night. They had their own stage crew. It was a big club, so a lot going on. So, but I would bug the stage crew every night, bugged them every day, and there was a guy they had. He was the assistant stage manager, but he would show up drunk all the time, and he would get angry real easy and throw glasses at people and beer bottles at people. And so they finally fired him. And so then I just happened to talk to this stage crew, and they said, "Hey, we're looking for an assistant stage manager. Um, we need you to go talk to this guy over here if you're interested." So I went and talked to the main guy that was in charge of all the stage production. Talked to him and told him I really didn't have any experience yet with that. I was going to school for it, but not really any experience yet. And so he said, "Well, we'll train you if you're really interested. We'll train you." So sure enough, I started learning a lot of stuff with concert production, and he taught me everything. And along the way, he found out how big of a Striper fan I was, and so Striper was just starting their Against the Law tour at the time. So he went ahead and booked him at the club, and so he put me in charge of those guys, and put me in charge of them. I got to be with them the whole time. I got to hang out on their tour bus, and I had to make sure that I was with them to, put their stage clothes out and make sure they had all their food and drinks that they needed. So got to do that, got to know them through that, and just have always kept in touch with those guys. But so, but along the way, I got other jobs, and got to work with other bands out there. And worked at Social Distortion. They were a punk band, pretty big at the time. And, so got to work with them and Gangrene and worked with Expose and actually got to tour the band Expose for a month doing the Florida circuit. And they were a top 40 band. They were three girls that sang. They had a band behind them, and they were on the top 40 all the time. So if you ever are curious, look up Expose on YouTube or something, and you'll see who I'm talking about. But so I got to do a lot of different stuff, but I'll never forget, my boss, allowed me to be in charge of that show. So that they did that night, and then just from there on, just kept in touch, and still have a relationship with them somewhat to this day. And I haven't seen them since 2014, so got a lot of catching up to do with these guys. But it'll be great to see them in May. So, um, but anyway, so I'll never forget that day in school when they said I was either going to work with Striper or be a part of Striper, be in the band. So what they said came true. I couldn't believe it that job fell in my lap, and still to this day I got a relationship with those guys, and so it's been great. They're just such great guys. They really are. Um, so anyway, just wanted to share that little bit of history with you. And but like I said, I'll never forget my first arena show, which was with Whitesnake and Great White. And I remember me and my buddies, we went to the Hilton Inn where a lot of the bands were hanging out before the shows, and that's where they were staying. So we had heard that Vivian Campbell was going to be with Whitesnake. Well, we had seen Vivian Campbell on the new Whitesnake videos at the time, which the songs they had brought out at the time was Still of the Night, and is they had a ballad that was really popular. I'll think of it here in a second, hopefully. But so we're in the we're in the bathroom. I'm sorry, we're in the bathroom combing our hair, and I left the bathroom. Was walking around the hill, and then decided to go into the bookshop or the gift shop, and there's Vivian Campbell standing there reading a Metal Edge magazine. Um, and it looked like he was kind of reading an article about himself leaving. Well, he was with Ronnie James Dio, the Dio band, so he left them and joined Whitesnake. And so I ran into him in the books or the gift shop, and got to stand there and talk to Vivian Campbell for a little bit, and he gave me an autograph and everything. So, um, and of course, Randy Sarzo, got to meet him real quick. But so I got this, and it's got a backstage pass from the Whitesnake show, and that was November 18th of 1987. Anyway, so there's my original ticket from the Casper Event Center, and then you can't really see it very well, but right here. Maybe if I tilt that. Uh, yeah, so there's Vivian Campbell's autograph. It says to Troy. It says to Troy, best wishes, Vivian Campbell. So I was just out of my mind getting to meet Vivian Campbell. He was so big with Dio, and all the very first Dio videos. You see Vivian Campbell there playing, and off the first two albums, Holy Diver and um, the last in line were the two albums that he played on. Um, so anyway, now he's been with Def Leppard for quite a while, of course. So he joined Def Leppard after Steve Clark passed away. Um, so um, so anyway, but Vivian Campbell's still huge in my book. He's still one of my favorite guitarists. I love that guy. He's battled cancer over the years, and he's still out there jamming and playing, and not letting that stop him. So I just commend the guy a lot. But it was just a real good to meet Vivian. But I went back in the bathroom. My two buddies were still combing their hair and putting hairspray in their hair, and of course I had already done that. So I went back in. I was like, "Hey guys, you're not gonna believe who I just met." And they're like, "Who?" And I said, "Vivian Campbell." And they said, "Oh, I can't be him. It's probably a lookalike." They said he's not in the band yet. I doubt. They're doubting that he was in the band yet, even though he had been in the videos. And I said, "No, it was him. I know it was." And they didn't believe me. Well, then when the concert started, Great White opened up, and that was a great show too. And they had just put out the song "Rock Me" "Rock Me," and "Lady Red Light" was another song, and "Save Your Love" was their ballad they put out. Um, but anyway, so the concert started, and here comes Vivian Campbell coming out on the stage, and my buddies both punched me, saying, "I can't believe you got to meet Vivian Campbell. I can't believe he's actually with Whitesnake, and we missed that." I'm like, "Yeah, well, you guys should have been a little quicker hairspraying your hair and should have been staying with me where I was. You could have met him too." So that's just a great memory getting to meet Vivian Campbell, and God, and then uh, later on got to back in Casper again, um, '88 during the Blow Up Your Video tour with AC/DC. White Lion opened up, and we got pretty lucky on that day. Um, we were at the Hilton Inn in Casper, Wyoming again, and this guy kept looking at me and my buddies and kept watching us and kept acting like he wanted to say something to us. And we couldn't figure out what his deal was. So I finally went up to the guy and I said, "Is there a problem? Is there a problem with us? What's going on?" He goes, "Well, I keep trying to talk myself into asking you guys if you could do me a favor." And I'm like, "Well, what's that?" And I'm like, "Who are you?" And he said, "Well, I'm the bus driver for AC/DC." He goes, "I gotta get to a post office and drop off some stuff that I need to send out, some reservations for hotels, whatever it was. I don't know." He was talking about reservations and things he had set up for the band. So I said, "Well," he asked if we could take him to the bus or to the post office. And so we're like, "Well, what's in it for us?" And it was me and my buddy and our two girlfriends at the time, a couple gals we were kind of dating. And I said, "Well, what's in it for us if we do this?" And he says, "Well, I'll give you backstage passes to AC/DC." And we're like, "This guy's got to be full of crap. And well, we kind of decided, well, what do we got to lose? I mean, the worst that'll happen, he'll just say no, I guess. So we went ahead and took him, and sure enough, I mean, the show was getting ready to start, and he said that he was going to have backstage passes for us, but he said we'd get our name called to the office or whatever. Well, show was getting ready to start, still nothing. No one called me to the office or anything. So like, wow, we got screwed. Well, then all of a sudden they called me to the office. So went there and they had me 4 backstage passes and 4 tickets that were unused. And so sure enough, we got to go backstage with those guys. But we got into the wrong line at first, and we ended up in White Lions bus. That's who was opening up for ACDC, was White Lions. So we got in their bus, and we thought we were in the right place, and we weren't. There was half naked girls walking around everywhere, and so uh, we're in there for a little bit, and this guy came up finally and said, "Hey, can I see your backstage passes?" So ours were green, and he said, "You're in the wrong line. You need to be over there. This is White Lions bus." And we're like, "Oh wow, okay." And so the White Lions backstage passes were pink. They all said ACDC, but they were pink, and that was the backstage pass you had. Backstage passes you had to have to be with White Lions. So anyway, so we got into the right line, got to go hang out with ACDC for a while, and they were just the nicest guys. They were such nice guys. Got to drink Heineken all night. We were staying at the Hilton Inn that night as well. So they asked if we were staying there. We said, yeah. They said, we'll take all the Heinekens you want. So we loaded up, and this whole dressing room just was just full of tubs. Just must have been about 15, 16 tubs just full of Heineken beer. So that was pretty cool. So that was the first time I ever had Heineken beer, and I've been a big fan of Heineken beer ever since. Um, you can't see it around me, but I got kind of Heineken themes throughout my cigar lounge down here. So, but anyway, but yeah, so that was a great memory as well, getting to hang out with ACDC for a little bit. They were just the nicest guys, also. So, um, but anyway, so got to meet White Lion as well, of course, and so there's our backstage pass from that night. One of the tickets, a guitar pick from White Lion, and of course there's the backstage pass. I was telling you, ours were green. The ones for White Lion were pink. So, but anyway, so there's that to show you. So, and then if you notice up close, uh, right right here, that's all of ACDC's autographs. So, so anyway, the thing I didn't realize though that night. Malcolm Young wasn't with them. We thought it was Malcolm Young, but it was George or Stevie Young. I'm sorry, Stevie Young that was taking Malcolm's place, and they looked just like each other. Same haircut, I mean, same hair length and same hairstyle, same body frame, everything. They looked just alike, and so we thought it was Malcolm Young. Well, then I found out after we had seen him that it was actually Stevie Young that was with them. So these autographs I've got are probably worth quite a bit of money with the fact that it was Stevie Young, not Malcolm Young, with them that night. But Malcolm Young had put himself in rehab. He was really going at it pretty hard with the alcohol and drugs. So he checked himself in to get some help, and so that's when Stevie Young took over. But so I would have never known it was Stevie Young. I could have sworn it was Malcolm Young. They look, like I said, so much alike. So, but anyway, I'm going to take a break for a moment, and I'm going to let the cigar. I'm going to smoke the cigar down a little bit more, and I'll tell you what other taste notes I'm getting. But I'm getting some peppers, and it's kind of more bold again, and getting some pepper and some chocolate still. A lot of espresso, dark espresso, or like a real strong espresso type of coffee flavor, and just a lot of dark chocolates. More pepper again. But anyway, I'm going to take a break, and I'll be back. And again, thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I hope you're having a great time hanging out with me tonight. And I'll be back. I'll be back. Well, I'm back, and I just want to tell you that I'm sure I'm enjoying this tonight with you guys. Um, God, I usually do these videos. I usually record them on Thursdays and put them and get them put up by Friday afternoon or so. And I want to thank my son Jacen for editing these podcasts for me. Um, and I gotta tell you guys about my wife. She's the one that got this whole cigar lounge together for me, and got this whole thing going. So I gotta say thank you, hun, for getting this going. This has been great. Um, And it sure has been enjoyable coming down here and hanging out and just escaping, when I get off of work. So thank you again for this. And Jacen, thank you for being a part of this as well, and for all that you're doing to help with these videos to get them out the way they need to. But anyway, I just kind of wanted to throw out thank you again, guys, and for joining me tonight. I do want to say hi to Craig Bradshaw Sr. He joined the Harper Cigar Lounge group page just recently, and he put up a post about some Privada farm rolled cigars that he got a hold of, and there's oh, yeah, we can't see it very well, but those are a bunch of cigars that he got a hold of. So he put that up on the page and shared that. So thank you and welcome, and I'm so glad you're a part of this. Um, the whole purpose of this, again, the podcast and this page that I started on Facebook, it's based around us metalheads and that love cigars. And yeah, this is a party tonight. I'm just really enjoying this. Um, Sitting here on a Saturday night, I remember back when I was in high school, I washed dishes for a place called King's Inn, and I could not wait to get home so I could put on Headbangers Ball and see all the new videos that are out from all the bands that I really admired and looked up to, and I remember those days of watching Headbangers Ball. Then of course after that was over, I'd go out, and go party a little bit and hang out with my buddies. But I just I'll never forget Headbangers Ball, getting home every Saturday night to watch that. It was like an hour, and it was like an hour and a half. Maybe it was 2 hours. I can't remember. I think it was more 2 hours. But just watching all the new videos and just like, God, I gotta go see this band. I gotta go see that band, and just I don't know. I just felt like I was a part of something pretty special, and and that's the whole point of this is for us metalheads. And if you're not a metalhead, that's okay. I'm glad you're here anyway. But I just want to do something that maybe helps bring back some great memories for you going to concerts when you were young and everything. And one of my most memorable concerts also was seeing Def Leppard on the Hysteria tour in 1987 in Denver, Colorado at McNichols Arena when they were filming all the videos. Pour Some Sugar on Me was one of them. And then they did a whole concert video as well, which I got a hold of later. But just so many great memories when I was growing up, going to concerts and just partying my ass off, and just getting to meet bands before the shows, and just waiting all day in line to get into the venue so I could run to the front of the arena to get to the stage and be close to these people I looked up to, and so I kind of got into my cigar or my CD collection. I'm sorry, not my cigar collection. I'll have to show you some of my cigars later at a different time, maybe. But um, I got into my CDs and broke out a few of my CDs that you just don't hear too much of, maybe. But I don't know if you guys remember a band called Badlands. Eric Singer was the drummer. Jakey Lee was the lead guitarist, and the lead singer, which is um, Ray Gillen, he got to sing for Black Sabbath for, I don't know, he did some demo stuff for Black Sabbath. It just didn't happen for him to be with Black Sabbath. But if you're looking for some great music, God, you got to check out Badlands. You got to find the CD. This was, of course, before Eric Singer was even in Kiss. And this was after Jakey Lee had left Ozzy's band. Um, he left Ozzy's band after the Ultimate Sin album. So, but just a great CD. And a couple of the songs on here that they did was Dreams in the Dark. You guys have got to, if you don't remember this band, God, get on YouTube and look up, Dreams in the Dark. You got to check these guys out. I mean, my God, one of the best CDs ever. One of the best bands ever. And of course, Ray passed away from AIDS. Um, After two albums in, he passed away, and he gotten into some drugs and stuff like that, and shared a needle with someone that caused him to attract the AIDS virus, and so it was tragic that he died the way he did. But you gotta check them out. And then I don't know if you remember Sabotage. Oh my God, this is a great CD. I remember Badlands and Sabotage on Headbangers Ball, and I remember the first time I saw or heard of this band and saw their video, which was the song they had brought out was Hall of the Mountain King. Oh my God, you guys have got to check out Sabotage. Look up Hall of the Mountain King if you don't remember that song. I don't know. I can't say enough about this CD. The whole CD is great. You got to check them out. And then I don't know if you remember a band called TNT. I remember them being on Headbangers Ball for the first time and seeing them. And they had a song called 10,000 Lovers. These three bands are just incredible, and I miss these bands tremendously. But check those guys out. Again, TNT. If you can get a hold of this CD, this is a great CD. It's called Tell No Tales, and of course Sabotage. Hall of the Mountain King is the name of that CD, and then just Badlands self-titled. You gotta check those CDs out if you can find a way to hear the music off of those. I know YouTube, you can put these CDs, the titles of these in. You can listen to the whole CD on YouTube, but you gotta check those out if you don't remember those bands. Some of the greatest bands that ever came out. And it's too bad they didn't. Well, it's too bad Badlands didn't last very long. They had a few albums out, but their third album, I think they had a different lead singer, of course, because of Ray Gillis. Because of I'm sorry. Uh, Ray Gillen. I'm sorry. I keep wanting to say Ray Gillis. Ray Gillen, their lead singer. He had such an incredible voice, and just the whole band was just incredible. J.K. Lee's guitar work, and that was just incredible as well. And then TNT. Oh my gosh. I know Michael Sweet from Striper's done some work with their lead singer over time as well, but and I can't remember his name, but I had to break these out and show them to you just in case maybe you remember them or maybe you don't, but you got to check those guys out. But I miss the high school days of all the metal concerts I went to. I still go to a lot of concerts. I'm still a concert goer. I love a lot of the British metal. That's a lot of my passion is British metal, but Aerosmith and which I'm hoping they'll do a tour pretty soon. Been waiting patiently to see Aerosmith again, and I've seen them, a few times, and every show they do is just so great. I hope I get to see them before they go out. My brother is waiting so anxiously to see them as well. And again, I'm smoking the Tabernacle cigar made by Foundation Cigars. It's a 6x52 cigar. That's a Toro cigar, Maduro wrapper on it. Just a very dark, bold wrapper. And I'm down to the last third, and I've had really great ash on the cigar all the way through. But really nice white ash, which shows it was fermented the right way. So, but again, this cigar has a Connecticut broadleaf wrapper, Mexican binder, and the filler is Honduran Nicaraguan. And if you're still learning about cigars, again, you've got the wrapper on the outside, you got the binder underneath, which the binder is what holds the filler in, and the binder is usually not a real pretty looking wrapper. So they use part of the plant for the binder because it's just not the leaf they use for that's just not as nice as the wrapper they use on the outside. But and then you got your long filler on the inside. Those are the cigars I suggest are the long filler cigars. You can get cigars that are short filler, which is the leftovers from cigars that they use, the parts they cut off. Some cigars that are a little cheaper maybe if you're on a tight budget, you can get cigars with long filler and short filler in them. Long filler and short filler. Sorry, on the inside of those cigars. But I suggest premium cigars if you really want a great experience. So, but when you guys are smoking and you're getting into this hobby, this lifestyle, you got to have the supplies to, keep you going the way you want to. And make sure you have butane. Make sure you got your Boveda packs right there. Let me show that to you again. Boveda. And these are smaller ones that kind of fit my smaller humidors. So and if you're looking for a way to save bands, I've kind of pasted these to this box I found. I'm holding koozies in it and some extra cutters and lighters in there. Um, but make sure you have plenty of cutters, and make sure you have a couple ashtrays around that you keep your butts in. And uh, when you are to go to maybe a cigar lounge, don't stomp your cigar out. Just let it rest when you're done, so you're not getting a bunch of harsh aromas in the air for everyone else to have to put up with. Um, but make sure you got a few different lighters. Make sure you got. I suggest you have a single torch lighter, and those are good for indoors, for smaller cigars. And then your big torch lighters for maybe when you're outside. If it's windy outside, they'll hold up to the wind and still light your cigars the way they need to. Just make sure you have plenty of different cutters. I've got this one here. It's a big one for 8x80 cigars. And I'm going to post a picture up of a cigar that I did, or that I smoked last year. It's called the Big Johnny by Leaf Cigars. And it was, huge. It took me almost 4 hours to smoke the dang thing. But I'll be posting a picture up on that on my group page for Harper Cigar Lounge. So I'll put a picture up of that if you guys are curious how big of a cigar that was. But that was, good for this cutter, which I don't use very often. I only paid a few bucks for that thing, but and a smoker friendly over in Cheyenne, Wyoming, that I get to go visit once in a while. They got a huge walk-in humidor. The first time I saw it, I was just in heaven. My my wife said I was just in awe and just enthralled with all the cigars that they had. So, but anyway, but yeah, thank you again, Hun, for encouraging me to get into this more. And it's just been a journey that I have loved, and I appreciate you being a part of that. Um, but I'm down to the last third of the cigar, and it's just been a great cigar. I've had to not touch it up. It's burning evenly still, but I've had to relight it a couple times. But that was because I talked too much. I didn't puff on it enough, which I'm going to relight it one more time. Which relighting doesn't take away the enjoyment at all from my cigars. It's just some cigars you don't have to worry about it. Some cigars you do have to a little bit. Relight them once in a while if you talk too much like I do. But I'm still getting in this last third. I'm getting a lot of pepper still, some chocolates. Um, I don't know, just a little bit of cedar maybe, um, but mainly like espresso, like a dark chocolate, some pepper still. But it's calmed down again. It was in the beginning, it was really strong right off the bat, and then it kind of calmed down, and then it got kind of strong again with the peppers, with taste. And now in the last third, it's kind of calmed down again. But just a very tasty cigar all the way through, and I've been enjoying the different taste notes. And I've had to relight it a few times, but that's just part of the experience. So, but please get on Harper Cigar Lounge Facebook group page. Join. It's for anyone to join. I don't set it up as a private group page. I want everyone to join it, and enjoy it. And hopefully, the things I've posted will maybe bring back some great memories for you. And please post cigars that you like to smoke. Post anything about yourself so I can get to know you. Just have fun with it like I am. And I've already got 140 members, and I just put this up on February 14th. Um, And I did that in honor of my wife because it was our 29-month anniversary. I keep track of the months, but it'll be our 1 year anniversary for being married. September 14th of this year will be our 1 year anniversary of getting married. So, but my wife, we went to high school together, we graduated together, and she was the girl I always wanted to date so bad in high school. I just never had the guts to ask her out. So it's just amazing how life works. We ended up together anyway, and I found her on Facebook, and I just couldn't resist to get in touch with her. And we've been together, yeah, we're going on 3 years. We've been together now. We just get along so great, and she's been so supportive of me and just been so wonderful. But if you guys are ever in the Kimball, Nebraska area, come see me at Main Street Market. I'll show you my cigar collection there. I'll show you what I have for sale, and I'll make you a great deal on them. Unfortunately, I don't send cigars out. I don't do any of that. Maybe down the road, we'll see about that. It's just I don't produce my own cigars or anything like that. I don't have my own blends, which is something I'm working on. I've been in touch with Perdomo Cigars a little bit. I've been in touch with J.C. Newman Company, which is the most. They've been around the most in the States. They're out of Tampa, Florida. Perdomo's out of Miami, Florida, which I lived in Miami, so missed that area quite a bit. Um, so many great memories when I was within the music business there, and I'll definitely work on having more stories for you guys over time. But I'll keep showing you guys things that I have. That brings back a lot of memories for me. But I do want to show you this also. Uh, I've got a backstage pass, my ticket, some guitar picks from Kiss during their reunion tour in '96. I got to go see them in Omaha, Nebraska. I drove 8 hours to see them, and it was worth it. Worth the whole trip, getting to see them. Such great memories, getting to see my favorite band, that I've been following her since I've been 7 years old. And I'll be 53 this year, so that's a lot of years. But I'm going to miss those guys. They're going to hang it up finally and end it at the end of this year. So I'm going to miss those guys tremendously. But I'll keep holding on to the memories. I'll keep, listening to their music and reminiscing over all the concerts I've seen with them. I've seen them so many times, and every show's been great. Great memories. Got to meet Eric Carr once, got to meet Gene Simmons once. I wish I could have met Paul Stanley and the other guys. I never had a chance to, but great guys. Just I know they're all great guys. And Eric Carr, you're missed. I still miss you to this day. Seeing you pass away and what you went through with with the heart cancer you had, man, I just wish I could have met you again and gotten a chance to know you before you passed away. Um, but gosh, guys, this has been great tonight. I've really been enjoying this, and I just am so thankful for you guys that are supporting me. And I'm not doing this for the money. I'm not doing this for anything but you guys, really. And myself as well. But I'm just glad to be a part of this culture and this hobby. And it's just there's nothing like bringing cigars and people together. It just really helps cause a lot of people to bond. A good cigar and conversation, and at cigar lounges that I like to go to whenever I get a chance. You meet so many great people in those cigar lounges, and you get to know them, and they have a whole different lifestyle than you, and have a whole different background than you. But it's great to get to know those people, and it's just wild how cigars bring people together. And I wish I would have gotten involved in cigars more sooner than what I have. And hopefully I got a lot of years left in me. Um, Hopefully I'll be around a long time, but I want to keep hanging out with you guys, getting to know you guys. But yeah, so please keep tuning in to Harper Cigar Lounge on YouTube. Subscribe to my channel. Leave me feedback. Leave me a thumbs up. Let me know where you're from. Let me know all about you. And would like to keep in touch with you. And just want to say hi to my family back in Torrington, Wyoming. Over in Reno, Nevada. I got family over there. I just want to say hi to all of you and thank you for all your support to me as well, and for there for me for so many years, and all your support to what I do. But all of you guys, thank you for all your support for what I do and for being a part of this. Without you guys, this would be nothing, and this wouldn't be possible without you guys. So let's keep doing this together. Let's keep smoking cigars together and learning from each other, and get to know each other over time. But subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to my Facebook group page, which is called Harper Cigar Lounge as well. Leave me whatever you want, as long as it's appropriate, as long as there's no profanity and anything sexual or anything that would go against YouTube or Facebook rules. Please leave your comments and leave me pictures of yourself, whatever, so I can get to know you. But I'm down to the last part of the cigar, and it's really tasting good still. Still getting some of the pepper and dark chocolate espresso notes. Um, Getting a little bit of a cedar to it as well. So, but anyway, I'll end this for now. And I plan to do another video this upcoming week, episode 6. So be looking out for that. I'll keep you guys up to date when that goes up on YouTube. I'll let you know on my group page when it goes up. I'll post it on my group page, the new podcast video. And anyway, so sign up if you haven't yet on YouTube and my page on Facebook, and I will be looking out for you guys. So I can't wait to get to know you guys more. So anyway, God bless, and thank you, and cheers to you guys. And gosh, I will see you guys very soon. But anyway, cheers to you guys again. And God bless, and thank you again for all your support. I'll see you soon.